I'd like to call this meeting to order. May I have a roll call?
Yes. Belsley.
Here.
Blunier.
Here.
Dobb. Here. Hare.
Here.
Herman.
Here.
Kaufman.
Here.
Rainson.
Here. Pledge allegiance to the flag, which is behind you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We do not have any public hearings tonight. However, we have two nice presentations. I'd like to call on Rod Blunier to present the first presentation.
Well, I'd like to introduce our speaker. The Peoria Area Convention and Visitors Bureau is a nonprofit destination marketing organization that provides information about activities in Peoria and surrounding communities, from providing brochures, maps, and discounts to inviting convention attendees, delegations, and sporting events to our communities. The Convention Bureau in Peoria is a great resource for local businesses and pleasure travelers. Morton is featured on the Bureau's About Us tab under Our Communities. Here to give us an update on the Peoria-Morton partnership is President and CEO Don Welch. Don?
Thank you, Mr. Blunier. Appreciate the opportunity tonight. Mayor, thank you for allowing us to come in. I've got some propaganda that I put at each of your seats. Some of this is information that we produce on a periodic basis. Our experience guide, which is on the left-hand side, is our retermed visitor's guide. This is available in all of the hotels, many of the restaurants, attractions around town, and it features all of our communities that help us with our funding, and we appreciate and thank you for your continued support for this. It also offers opportunities for our communities and our stakeholders to advertise to the visitors that come to town. We circulate this to about 80,000 visitors each year through a variety of different resources. Additionally to that, we have some other printed material that also features Morton, our sporting area guide, and our meeting planner guide, which again are produced in-house. These are pieces that we take when we go to conventions to try to sell the Peoria area, including Morton, for conventions and sporting events. I know that the Morton hotels many times will get traffic from East Side Center, the Pekin Dome, as well as the things that happen in East Peoria and Peoria, just because of the compression. In addition to what's in there, we have a coupon book, again, that's available to all of the visitors that come into town. Just so happens, we didn't really plan it this way, but the Morton America's Best Inn is the very first coupon that you see at the top of the page when you open the book. This is offered to all of our partners throughout the 8 counties that we serve, and it really gives a good opportunity for them to see the circulation, because when that coupon comes in, they know it came from our marketing efforts. So the slide that you see on the screen is one that I like to share whenever I make a presentation. It talks about building a place where people want to visit, which ends up turning it into a place where business has to be. And if you think about it, the Convention and Visitors Bureau is promoting the area to not only just leisure tourists, leisure visitors, convention meeting planners, sporting rights holders, but it's promoting it to people that could potentially invest in your area. Because I can't imagine a business person building a factory, buying a business, starting a business in a community that they haven't visited before. That just isn't in reality. So it's what I like to rely upon as part of our purpose. We serve 8 counties, all the way up from Bureau down to Mason. And as you can imagine, most of what we have to offer is right here in Peoria and Tazewell counties. So that's a big focus of what we have. It's a big area for our attractions and for our hotels. Once you get outside of that 2-county area, the number of hotels and the number of attractions is much fewer than what we have in those areas. Our goals is to increase meetings, conventions, sporting events, create tourism opportunities, and bring leisure travelers to town. We do that in a number of different ways. Part of it's through the publications that you saw here. and these are some of those publications. In the experience guide, you'll find a page on Morton, and I think on page 15 we'll find Susan's ad that she places for Morton every year. We travel to different trade shows. Some are targeted to sporting events, some are targeted to different types of conventions, whether it be associations, corporate business travel, fraternal travel, those kinds of things. We also travel to Travel Media Showcase. This is a trade show that focuses on writers, journalists, people who are going to write stories about your area, and those are published throughout the United States and overseas actually to try to drive leisure tours to your community. It might be a bus tour, it might be an individual frequent traveler. We've started a digital campaign. We've done a meetings campaign, meetings digital campaign with great success. This one just started recently. This is targeting a 3 to 5 hour market from the Peoria area, and it's using a number of different digital marketing campaigns, paid media, where you see when you're surfing on the internet, an ad will pop up. Some of that's because you went to a site and you've built a demographic for yourself as to what you're interested in. And Google can put all that together and target you back. It's the ultimate Big Brother campaign. It's kind of scary, but they can figure out what you're interested in and then go after you to market to you. So we do that. And we target you if you're interested in gambling, or you're interested in wildlife, or you're interested in pumpkins. Whatever it might be, to be able to focus an ad back to you. We're also doing content marketing, where we develop stories that are then published on websites and blogs to show interest, create interest for your area. So those are a couple of things that we've started recently, and I don't really have the statistics back on that. I can tell you from the meeting side, we've had great success with that. We also do a YouTube video series called Touring the Town. When we started this, it was, you may have seen it, it was Casey's Places to Play. We rebranded it in the last year, and we go into each of our communities and then go into specific events, and we create a video like this. So if you will here, we'll hopefully get her going.
Welcome to Morton, Illinois, the pumpkin capital of the world. Did you know that 80% of the canned pumpkin consumed worldwide comes from right here in Morton? It's no wonder they have a 3-day celebration based around their favorite gourd. The festival is a full weekend of everything pumpkin. But that's not all that Morton has to offer, so let's go and tour the town and see what else we can find. A cup of joe from Eli's Coffee will put a pep in your step before your day in town. Eli's prides itself on being a place where you can sit down, enjoy some coffee, and connect with friends. The shop also has great menu items, including sandwiches, salads, and pastries. Now that I've got my coffee, let's go shopping. Right across the street from Eli's is Jefferson Street Studio and Gallery. Check out work by local artists, from paintings to sculptures. Everything inside the gallery is available for purchase. Threads is the newest shop in Morton. This trendy clothing store has all the latest fashions. Head down Main Street and visit Lulu's on Main, with unique and specialty gifts in every corner. You may not go to Lulu's looking for something, but you will definitely find something you want. Planning a party? Need the perfect gift? Or looking for some home decor? So Chic Boutique is your one-stop shop for everything pretty. I love to cook, and I'm pretty good at it, but I'm always up for learning new recipes and techniques. So let's head into the cookery and whip up something delicious. At the cookery, everyone is a gourmet chef. They specialize in unique cooking classes where you can learn some traditional favorites or master a cuisine from a different region. The cookery also provides catering and, coming soon, meals to go. If you feel like letting someone else do the work, we've got you covered. Check out Seasons Gastropub. Seasons has an amazing menu that changes, you guessed it, with each season. They also have a wide selection of craft beer and great wine. Or head to Kemp 208 in downtown Morton for a casual fine dining experience. The atmosphere is warm and exciting with a rustic American menu. All menu items are created with the freshest ingredients and locally sourced when available. Have a sweet tooth? Just down the street is Great American Popcorn Company. They have over 100 different flavors of popcorn available, from sweet to incredibly spicy. You can also pick out craft soda, fudge, and ice cream. We've had a blast uncovering some of Morton's hidden treasures. For a full list of attractions, dining options, hotels, and more, visit enjoypeoria.com. Thanks for joining us as we toured the town.
So that video is posted on our YouTube channel. We also push it out through our Facebook channel and our other social media opportunities. It's an opportunity for you to take that footage and incorporate it into your own marketing of your city. So please feel free to do that. If you need the actual B-roll footage, we'd be happy to provide that to you. Some other things that we've done, and I might add that those Tourin the Town videos are done in-house. Casey Osborne, that was featured there, is our community development manager. Our photographer, videographer is Andrew Barra. He's our marketing assistant, and they do a phenomenal job. Andrew does a great job of editing it out and producing a great product there. We're also doing more commercials and other videos to help other organizations in the community to market what they have. This tourism commercial I'm going to show in a second here is playing in Rockford, the Chicago suburbs, St. Louis suburbs. It's also playing in some high-end movie theaters in a three-state area. Actually, Corey's, was it your cousin, that texted him from Champaign, said he saw it in the Champaign Theater down there. So we're seeing some good traffic from it.
What if we told you this isn't Africa? Or this isn't Ireland? What if we told you that this isn't Chicago and this isn't Colorado? That Austin isn't the only place for a great concert, and you can't find this museum anywhere in Europe? What if we told you this was all in one place? What if we told you this is Peoria?
Now, obviously that was Peoria-centric. It was funded by Peoria hotel tax dollars, and that's why it was only Peoria-centric. We're also producing videos now for a wide variety of different organizations. The Downtown Development Corporation of Peoria, we've produced 5 commercials for them to help them attract developers into the downtown warehouse district. We produced a video, recruiting video for the University of Illinois College of Medicine. And we're in the process of doing some videos, a series of videos for the CEO Council, which is 60 CEOs that are comprising the Tri-County area. So that will also be a recruiting video to try to not only get high-end executives, but also their trailing spouses. So we've gotten some great feedback and great response from those videos so far. Before I introduce Corey, which I just did, I'd like to draw your attention to a couple of other documents that are in here. Whoops. I've got a first 6 months update that shows you the marketing that we've done for Morton. And then it also gives at the very back, the return on investment based upon the economic impact studies that have been done for the types of events that we bring in. And then more current is our the marketing report that brings you up to date with all of the advertising that we've done that includes Morton. We do a number of ads. The first one you'll see is our sports events magazine. This was distributed to about 16,500 people, and right dead center of the page you see McClellan Park is what we're promoting there. Then there are a number of ads that we do that feature all of the festivals around the area, including the Morton Pumpkin Festival. What this does is allows us to leverage your dollars with the other community's dollars and buy these ads in large circulation magazines and newspapers. So you'll see circulation of 112,000. You'll see large ads that we place. To give you an idea, an advertisement, full-page advertisement that might be placed in Midwest Living runs about $15,000 for one issue. So it allows us to leverage a lot of dollars to get more bang for the buck. On a grassroots basis, one of the things that we've done is a Sips and Bites tour. So at the back of this packet, you'll see some of the passports that we've created with the cooperation of restaurants, coffee shops, popcorn stands, whatever it might be, to drive people into their business to get a stamp on the passport, which if they fill out the whole passport, visit all the people, all of the businesses that are shown there, then they come back to the Bureau and they get a prize. So we're getting some good feedback, not only from our partners and our members, but we included a number of businesses that don't belong to us and don't pay us dues to show them the value that we bring to them. So with that, I'd like to introduce Corey Hatfield, give a short presentation on what the Director of Sales and the Sales Department at the Bureau does.
Thank you, Don, and thank you for having us here tonight. I'll kind of wrap up pretty quick here, but we're in a unique situation where we actually don't own a true facility. We work for all of our funding communities, and so everything we do, we rely heavily on the partnerships that we have. In particular here in this photo, it's several things, but one being the partnership of all the hotels being here, full-service hotels from the Peoria area, East Peoria, and the Morton Holiday Inn Express there as well. This is kind of a funny picture. Actually, this is our mobile visitor center that we use to set up at a lot of events, whether it's FC soccer tournaments, IHSA state championships. We also use it to get around when we're in large groups, and this one actually we're parked in front of the Springfield CVB just to kind of poke a little fun at them while we were there. But I have the wonderful job of working with all these people, again, to help bring in meetings, conventions, conferences, motor coach groups, and assisting with some of the leisure stuff. But again, everything we do it together because we technically don't have one facility. Just recently, a great example of us working together, we went over to the University of Illinois and collectively as a group walked 21 miles across that mass campus, meeting with over 150 contacts that day to try to generate new business. And this is just a way to try things differently. We're not just picking up the phone. We are picking up the phone. We're not just sticking to an email blast and hoping somebody answers the phone when we do it. We're actually trying to go out and steal business from other persuade people to come to our community, not necessarily steal. Hate to say that word with the police chief over here. But we're trying to get other groups to come in. And a lot of that is reliant upon us working together, as I've said before. Don mentioned us being at trade shows. We go to these trade shows because this is where we meet new groups, whether it might be the International Jugglers Association, whom I just met at a trade show, which wants to do a 7-day conference. And so we're there to meet them. So we get paired up in like a speed dating style to meet individuals, whether it's a sports meeting, corporate business travel, small market meetings, which we just got back from, which is organizations looking for smaller tier 2 and tier 3 cities, and some other sports and association shows. While we're there, so it's reverse style. We actually have like speed dating appointments where we get 6 minutes to sit down with these people, and there's zero chance they're going to remember our names because these people are meeting with 50, 60, 70 cities and municipalities. So what we started doing is taking selfies with them with little fun thought bubbles that we take back and actually put on our first piece of correspondence is that photo of them, and they tend to get that right after. They're going to remember our faces. They won't remember our name, but they'll remember our faces. And so we're just trying to do things, again, a little bit differently than what other people traditionally do because the old ways are changing, and people like to, as Don said with the digital things, we all check our cell phones first thing in the morning before we get out of bed, 9 times out of 10. So just trying to do things a little bit differently. We don't like to admit it, but we're there at 6 in the morning checking our phones. But when it gets down to the actual sales, this past calendar year, we had a phenomenal year with event bookings. When Don talks about the compression of the Civic Center, we put 206 event days in the Civic Center. And what does that mean? That means a lot of compression out to our larger communities. The IESA track and field event was renewed for multiple years. That's one of those events that Morton benefits directly from just being 5 miles down the road from Eastside Center. And in many instances, your hotels are closer than some of the East Peoria hotels. So we have those coming in for several more years, which is just one example of 2 sellout weekends that really bring a lot of people and their families and their dollars into the community. One event on here I really wanted to focus on, which just happened a couple weeks ago. It's a Leadership Team Development Summit. This group originally estimated to bring in 9,500 people for 3 days, and it ended up blowing up to about 12,000 people. So we kind of broke that down originally with the 9,500 attendees. If those people ate 2 meals a day while they're here for those 3 days, that's 57,000 plates of food. When we talk about the millions of economic impact, this is what really hits home. These 57,000 plates of food are made, prepared, delivered. The food is processed locally. That's all by our friends, colleagues, family members, and that really brings back those jobs back to the area. So when we talk about meetings and conventions and economic impact, we've been trying to break it down differently to show really what does $1.1 million economic impact mean versus plates of food, because we can all relate to that a lot easier. But this group, we're trying to get them back. We conservatively contracted over 3,200 rooms with them, but we know that likely doubled due to the attendance that was here. We actually had to put people in Bloomington and Galesburg because we just didn't have the number of rooms because this got so big so quick. And we hope to get them back. We're sports, guys. We're a sports area. We have, just in this past year, we secured 42 IHSA state championships. 42. In addition to that, we booked 18 junior high, the IESA state championships here in the community. Over the course of these next 5 years, or when these events will happen, it's going to bring in just under 500,000 people for these events and $30 million of economic impact. And that's a lot of food. We're talking about junior high kids, high school kids. They're going to eat everybody at house and home while they're here. And hopefully with the end goal of them seeing something in the community that might want to bring them back for a weekend while they're here. So I'll kind of wrap up with that, but one other thing I want to mention, when Don talks about the economic impact and the whole circle of people coming in for a visit, just think of any of those 12,000 people that were here for the LTD conference, or any of the 8,000 people that are IESA track each day. Just think if one of them are staying at the Holiday Inn across the road here, and they look over and they see a for sale sign on an empty plot of land, and they own a business and they're looking to expand. That's where tourism really plays a point, because they're not going to come here. They would have never been here if it wasn't with a visit. So with that, I'll turn it over to Rod. Thank you.
Thank you, Corey. And Don, go ahead, Don, if you have any questions.
If you have any questions, I'm glad to answer those now or later. I think my business card is inside the folder. Feel free to call me anytime.
Are you going to stay around till the end of the meeting?
We can.
Well, in case anybody wants to visit with you a little bit.
Okay.
Ron, have you got anything you wanted to add to this?
No, just a fantastic presentation, very informative, and I really appreciate you taking the time to show that to everyone.
Thank you very much for serving on our board. Ginger, thank you for your time on our board. You've both been very supportive. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks. For our second presentation, I'd like to call on Trustee Sam Ayer to make the introductions.
Yes, it's my pleasure to get to introduce Leanne Brown. She's our president and CEO of the Morton Chamber of Commerce and the Economic Development Council. With the kind of the tourism that we just saw and understood and got a great presentation from, Leanne's going to give us the update on the EDC and kind of at the local level from Morton's perspective.
Sounds great. And before I go into that, just want to thank Don and Corey. I have the honor and privilege to be the board chair of the Peoria Area Convention Visitors Bureau. And so always to hear their update and really share that information of how they put our region on the map and really get information out to people that live and work here in our region of what there is to do and enjoy. And then their outreach well beyond 60-mile radius of our community, bringing those different events and attractions and groups to our community. So thanks again for that update, and great job to the team over there of really putting Greater Peoria and Morton specifically on the map to many different groups, and continuing to help promote our community. They also brought the visitors bus, the mobile visitor center, and used that free of charge. It was a volunteer service during Pumpkin Festival for a free shuttle. So lots of great partnerships there that have really helped Morton and will continue. So thank you. And on those lines, it's great to continue to have a partnership with the village, and wonderful to see the improvement here of technology, that investment that you made. And as Corey and Don alluded to, people pay attention when they come to a community, and more so if they are thinking about coming to a community, they really do their homework on that community. And to the point of watching meetings like this to really understand how the community leaders are investing their time, money, and resources back into the community, how they're planning for growth and additional investment in the community as well. And so having a great presence during these meetings is very important. And so we have the opportunity for, on behalf of the Morton EDC and the Chamber of Commerce, to present you, and there's no unveiling tonight because we already put it out, but to have a banner here with the Great Morton logo that's on all the welcome signs, so it brings that branding and consistency and just a great simple image that we can be proud of. And when we have speakers come in, we have businesses that are investing their money into the community. When they're at the meetings, it's great that we have such a welcome presence here and very professional. Businesses respect that and look for that in a community. So it's great, even these small steps that we can make in collaboration to really showcase Morton and welcome them. So thank you for this partnership, and I know we'll be able to use this at other events as well, and really just puts another great face of Morton in this aspect here at our meetings. So any questions? I know there shouldn't be any questions on a beautiful table cover, but any questions, EDC and Chamber? I know we are coming off from a overall successful Pumpkin Festival. We have our Chamber Board meeting tomorrow, so we'll be able to go through that information with the Chamber Board, and then hopefully be able to share back to the community some of the dollars that we were able to issue back to many, many groups again that volunteered their time, and the community projects that we look to order some more flower pots and help the library with a new book drop. So that's the two community projects that we're looking to give back from the festival this year. And EDC side, tomorrow I'm heading up to Chicago, the International Council of Shopping Centers. They have their Chicago Deal Making Conference, and so I'll be up there meeting with various brokers and companies, looking at our property that we have available for namely retail and restaurant, but a lot of those brokers represent multiple development groups. So I'll be there sharing what we have to offer here in Morton. Any other questions?
Any questions? Sam, you want to add something to that?
No, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Jeff.
Thanks, Leanne. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to make a public comment? Is there anyone in the audience that would like to remove anything from the consent agenda? We have some bills to pay and minutes to approve. Would any of the board members like to remove anything? There being none, can I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Second by Sam. Call it, please.
Belsley.
Yes.
Blunier.
Yes.
Dobb.
Yes.
Hare.
Yes.
Herman.
Yes.
Kaufman.
Yes.
I have nothing to add to tonight's meeting. How about the village clerk?
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
Village administrator?
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
Chief of police?
A couple things tonight, Your Honor. One is in the packet. There's our expenses from the police department for this year's Pumpkin Festival. Total in wages and compensatory time is just over $8,700. And then the second thing is just a reminder that this Saturday, between 10 a.m. 2 p.m. at our station, we're partnering with the DA on the drug take back, so expired medications, solids, any liquids in the original package sealed up, but no intravenous injectables. And that's all I have tonight, Your Honor.
Any questions for the chief? Corporate counsel?
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
Director of Fire and Emergency?
Thank you, Your Honor. I have 3 items. I tried to save everything up for your convenience to take care of all in one night.
We appreciate it.
The first ordinance that I'm asking that you consider has to do with arson investigators. And just to give you a little bit of background, state statute requires every fire chief in the state to investigate the cause and origin of every fire. We do that through fire investigators, certified fire investigators. Our department has 4 or 5 certified fire investigators. Their job kind of stops at the point, however, that fire appears to be suspicious or intentionally set, because you move into the crime then of arson. And an arson investigator is a fire investigator who is taken 5 weeks of additional training under the Illinois Law Enforcement Standards Board to deal with criminal type investigations, taking of evidence and such. And we have 2 people in our department that are currently certified arson investigators. So this ordinance would allow those arson investigators to be designated as peace officers. And under the state law, that's allowed, and they can function in a fashion that's similar to, or basically the same as, a police officer when investigating an arson or arson-related crime. And that's what this enabling ordinance would do.
Could I have a motion? Calm down. Any questions? Call it, please.
Blunier,
Yes.
Dobb,
Yes.
Hare,
Yes.
Herman,
Yes.
Kaufman,
Yes.
Belsley.
Yes.
Thank you. The second item I have deals with the minimum age of volunteer firefighters for our fire department. It has, for as long as I've been here, been 21 years old. And while that's probably a pretty good age for that, we have tried to stay on top of making sure that we can constantly recruit enough volunteers and have enough people to serve the community in the way that it deserves. And so in doing some brainstorming and making sure that we don't get behind the 8 ball in that regard, we decided that we'd like to look at opening up the age to 18. Or reducing that minimum age to 18. We did some checking with Julie and insurance-related issues to make sure that that doesn't appear to be any concern for the insurance company, so that's what this ordinance would allow us to do. The fire department also has a bylaws which would have to be changed as well that has that same age, but this is the kind of that first step towards allowing that to happen.
Can I have a motion? Second?
Second.
Okay, I'm getting head nods.
Ginger second.
Ginger second. I'm going first. Any questions on this issue? Call it, please.
Dobb,
Yes.
Hare,
Yes.
Herman,
Yes.
Kaufman,
Yes.
Belsley,
Yes.
Blunier.
Yes.
The final ordinance change I'm asking you to consider has to do with fires within the village limit. At first, I'll tell you what it's not. Our current ordinance prohibits burning of landscape waste, which would include leaves, any garbage, rubbish, any of those types of things. And this does not change in this ordinance. That would still be and continue to be prohibited within the village. Within the current ordinance, however, there is a small section which allows anyone to have a recreational fire, is what we call it. You might think of it as a campfire in this ordinance, as long as they're using it for cooking purposes. And we get a lot of questions about this. If you go into Walmart, I went into Walmart on Sunday, and the first thing you see in the door are the fire pits and firewood, especially for this time of year when a lot of people like to go out and light these types of fires. Our answer today when we say is that illegal, we have to say as long as you have hot dogs or something to cook. And that really doesn't address the safety of that fire. It really only addresses the food available. And so this ordinance would change that and put the focus on the size of the fire. And I think that it better enables both our department and law enforcement to be able to determine what's allowed and what's not allowed. There is one also section in that in our current ordinance that allows my position to issue a permit for burning. However, that's really never been defined other than just issue a permit. So this ordinance would actually give specific situations in which such a permit could be issued. And of course, also gives us the ability to prohibit burning within the village when conditions are not appropriate for that. If there's we have a very dry situation, then we could simply just issue a burning ban and no fires would be allowed.
Motion? Second? Second by Nelson. Any discussion or questions?
When you talk about the size, Chief, does that 10 cubic feet cover most people's fire pits?
I believe that will cover most people's fire pits, yeah, and it seems to be a reasonable size of fire. Of course, we're probably not going to go out with a yardstick and measure that, but I think it gives people a general idea of what type of size a fire should be in terms of the fuel.
Any other questions? Call it, please.
Hare.
Yes.
Herman.
Yes.
Kaufman.
Yes.
Belsley.
Yes.
Blunier.
Yes.
Dobb.
Yes.
Trustee Dobb, do you want to wrap any of this up? Do you have any comments you'd like to make?
No, other than that the last ordinance was something we needed for a long time. With the popularity of fire pits and people wanting to sit around a little bonfire in the backyard because it was always a joke about pack a hot dog or have a hot dog in your pocket. This way it kind of actually controls the use of it and the material that could be used. I think it's something that makes people feel better about their recreational and popularity of fire pits.
Great. Is that it?
That's all I have, sir.
Director of Public Works,
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
Planning and Zoning Officer,
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
Trustee Belsley,
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
Trustee Blunier.
Just want to thank Corey and Don and Leanne for your presentations tonight. Very informative, very good information. We appreciate you partnering with us.
Trustee Dobb,
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
Trustee Hare,
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
Trustee Herman,
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
Trustee Kaufman.
Just a reminder of the yard waste disposal. Going to start here. It'll be open Wednesday, October 19th to Wednesday, November 23rd. Will be closed on Mondays and Tuesdays, so it's open Wednesday through Sundays, 8 to 5. So Wednesday through Sunday, 8 to 5, the usual rules. And Craig, would you like to add anything to it? You've been working on it the last couple of days.
We're about ready for 8 o'clock on Wednesday. If you go out there, just, we got a lot of signage up. Just pay attention to the sign. I'm sure it'll be a little confusing the first time, but a lot of cones, a lot of direction out there. We'll have 2 people at all times prepared. So we hope to get you through as quick as we can.
There's new fencing in a long area, so its area is quite larger than before, so it should go quite well.
Yep, and our number one priority is to control what goes in the pile as it eventually gets, goes through a grinder and off to a third party. So that's our number one priority, but we will be checking IDs as you come in. So there'll be several lines, and that's the part where we'll try to, I've been working with the chief to try to keep that going and expedite that.
Thank you. That's all I have, Your Honor.
May I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Hare. All in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned.